And there she is. Oh, they're going to put it in a tortilla. Gracias. It's so tender, you know what, it's going to fall in a minute. It's just like, it's just falling apart in my fingers. That's how tender this stuff is. Look at the coloring on there. It's really absorbed all the flavor. The natural way. It really tastes the seasoning that way. Delicious, falls apart. Oh, most definitely the best cochinita de pibil I've ever had. This whole experience, I mean, it's crazy. Look, it's been baking in the ground for, you know, 4 hours all day. The marinade, the ceremony, the whole thing, this whole experience is incredible, and it was definitely worth the wait.
That is guaranteed to make you hungry right there. Gord Martin is one of the delinquent gourmets, so he travels around the world, goes to great exotic places, finds out about the local food, and puts his own flavor on things as well. Hey, Gord Martin, how are you, buddy?
I'm lovely. Thank you for having me today.
So let's talk about that clip, you little delinquent. Whereabouts were you exactly?
That was in Chichen Itza.
Chichen Itza.
And you are very familiar with Mexico. You've traveled down there quite a bit.
Very familiar with Mexico.
How much does that kind of stuff, how much does traveling influence sort of what you do in your restaurants and sort of your palate and what you see and what you do?
Well, a lot. Yeah. I mean, you know, really, I mean, like cooking and traveling, it's, you know, it's passion, it's art. You get, you know, you travel around, you know, I love cultural flavors. Yeah. Cultural flavors, you know, are just tend to be a little more bold, and it's kind of all about where the spice trade started, how spice things were made and stuff like that, you know, with the peppercorns from Jamaica going here and there and trading and getting all these different flavors, and that's kind of what cooking's about for me.
Well, and you said something at the end of that episode in Mexico where it was, you know, the abuelas, yeah, grandmothers, don't mess with what they did.
Like,
yeah, that's my attempt at Spanish right there. But it's a really good point, right? I mean, there's a legitimacy and an authenticity to a style of cooking that...
Well, exactly. I mean, you know, you learn from traditions, and then there comes a time when you can kind of put it, you know, you might put a West Coast flair to it because you might use a salmon instead of a thing or something like that, but don't mess with, and you know, it's like things like a beautiful heirloom tomato. You don't need to do a lot to it to make it just delicious, and I think it's the restraint of cooking the thing that makes it really good as well. If you start pureeing and doing all these different things and adding too much stuff, it doesn't even really taste like the product you started with anymore.
Right, yeah.
And we're back to basics now a little bit, you know what I mean?
And from that clip that we were looking at, you guys burying the pig and cooking the pig, how delicious was that? It looked amazing.
Well, it was absolutely delicious.
You jerk!
They almost got mixed up and buried me because I've been called a pig.
And that's why he's a delinquent.
Some spice on Gord, away you go.
Where else do you travel? We were looking at the episode you were in Mexico, but you got to go quite a few very interesting and exotic places.
We did. We went to, well, the first episode was Morocco, which was absolutely fabulous. Probably one of my favorite places on earth.
Yeah.
And I think
when you talk about the spice trade and the spice route, and you know,
I think still one of the most undiscovered cuisines that we could bring to the West Coast or even to North America. You know, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like it hasn't really caught on yet too much, but it's like Indian food. Indian food is just out of control good, right? It's just like, it's the seasoning, how they do it, the toasting of the spices, all that kind of stuff. Moroccan will catch on eventually. But we were also in Belize and Jamaica. Jamaica was my least favorite.
It's a fairly dangerous country.
Well, they just kind of plopped us in the middle of Kingston, and it's like, you know,
good luck.
Crime center of the universe. It's just like, I'm like, hey, this isn't very safe.
I think a lot of people have an idealistic view of Jamaica, of the beaches and stuff, without knowing a lot about.
You know, the beach was fun. Yeah. The beach was fun. You know, we ended up at a place called Prendi's on the beach. On a Sunday, and Sunday is kind of family day in a lot of these countries, right? So they had DJs, and I mean, just ripping it up. Awesome stuff. So the afternoon got more fun. That was probably after a little rum.
Right.
There was potentially a little rum involved in that episode.
Yeah.
When you travel around these places, you don't really say no to trying things either. And you know, we'll go back to the Mexico because we saw that this morning. But you know, brain, organs. It's pretty much all on the table for you.
Tequila.
Tequila, yeah, of course.
Tequila, yeah. No, I never say no to tequila, you know. I love the cabeza, the head tacos in Mexico, which will come with the cheeks, the brain,
That's
everything.
The street meat. Like, the street tacos sort of incorporate the tip to tail, right?
Do you ever feel scared when you try that kind of food?
No,
you used a way to describe it that I'm not going to repeat of what will happen. But is there a danger
Did it
element?
start with an F?
Bad things can happen sometimes.
Ooh, you know what? I think that you got to look at it, you know, like you go to the Deuxième Orphelinat, which is like the largest outdoor market in Africa, and you go there to eat, and it's the freshest thing you're going to find. And, you know, people are scared of these things, but you got to realize those people don't want to get sick either.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, when you go to these places, it is fresh, fresh, fresh. The only thing is that sometimes you can pick up, you know, microorganisms or this, that, but that can happen anywhere.
It's so true.
It's like if they come here and drink our water, they might get sick because they're just not used to it.
Their body's not used to it.
It's just, yeah, I mean,
I have to say that in my travels, I've gotten sick far more at 5-star resorts than I have eating at the street or eating on the street. Or
well, it's
near
like
the
going
street.
on a cruise. Uh-oh, watch out, Norwalk virus.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's like I didn't get that in the fishing boat in Jamaica.
Danger, danger. Okay, we have to talk about Go Fish.
Yeah,
and
this is
bins. What's the big change?
Well, I decided to turn 942 into a Go Fish. It was sort of just time to freshen it up a little bit on that side of the bridge, as it were. You know what I mean? Downtown is still crazy busy. After the Olympics, we had a little bit of a slowdown in that neighborhood, and I just decided to bring the demographics in a bit more, make a bit more of a family-style thing, and then in the evening we can still do a little bit more upscale. It's kind of like the bin meets Go Fish. So in the daytime,
Go Fish, the one that's on Granville Island. For those who haven't been, tell us what the concept of that is.
Speaking of fresh.
Yeah.
yeah, the concept of that. Let's just say fish. No.
Fish. It's fish. And
it's fresh.
Fish.
It's fresh. We buy all the fish comes in pretty much daily, as it were, from the boats. I mean, every once in a while, you know, it'll be a couple days till they'll be out fishing or whatever. And then obviously it's seasonal, like whether it's going to be, you know, we do the Spot Prawn Festival. There'll be fresh crab. The scallops are coming back again now from Qualicum Bay. So we buy our stuff from Organic Ocean mostly. And whenever we can get it fresh, I mean, obviously there's going to be times of the year where things aren't fresh, and then, you know, you have to go to other suppliers. But, you know, we still get the best of the best.
Nice.
And so, yeah.
Well, and it's a beautiful concept up there as well. I mean, because there's nothing really like it in that little section of Broadway and in that area.
Yeah, well, you know what? I stuck with, you know, it's still sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. It's still sexy, you know what I mean? It's still sexy, but it's kind of like I lightened it all up, and it's got this kind of like, you know, aqua blue leather banquettes and stuff. So it's all very ocean, you know. I made all the lamps, the light fixtures are all made out of seaweed, different kinds of seaweed and stuff.
Cool.
And then we made a chandelier out of fish lures that I brought back from Mexico that are like used for catching like sharks and stuff. So these things are like huge with big hooks. It's pretty sexy, yeah.
Yeah, this
Can't
is cool.
wait to check it out, and you can as well, because it just opened 2 days ago.
We just opened 2 days ago, and so
okay, so on Broadway is now Go Fish, and of course Bin 941 still open on Davie Street if you want to check it out. And then of course on the Wharf, Granville Island, you can visit the original Go Fish, and you can also watch The Delinquent Gourmet airing Saturdays at 7:30 on the Food Network Canada.
Very nice. Thanks, man.
Gord.
Nice to see you. As always.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure. Peace.
In airport, and we're preparing for flights usually when we run into each other.
You guys see each other in the bars.
We've crossed paths in Mexico City and things. And we're going, what are you doing here?
Getting ready to fly.
Meet you for a beer. Let's go for a beer.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back.